I'm so organized, you know. Well, once again, welcome to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. We're going to start this morning with our statement of intent. Carol will read us our statement.
Good morning, everyone. We are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services, and by using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where you can worship the God of your own understanding, and a place to experience joy and be uplifted, a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we meet throughout the week. We invite you to join us in this celebration of life, to nourish your spirit, and to enjoy the company of kindred souls.
That's all right, we get it. Souls. Okay, so at this point, let's sing our opening song, which is Let There Be Peace on Earth. And the words are on the white card, or number 3 in Wings of Song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Good morning. On this most perfect day, and Jerry, we agree on that, right? I'm so glad to see that we've all come together and we are joining our spiritual energy, and it multiplies. May we bring great blessings to all beings. May we bring peace to earth, starting with us, starting with this inner evolution, starting with our own mind. May we bring benefit through our own radiant oneness that we are here to discover. All beings benefit today because we have come together, and our unity, even with our diversity of thoughts and spiritual practice, it still multiplies because this oneness is who we are. Blessings to all.
Amen. Thank you. So at this time, we're going to skip our original normal hymn thing. So I'm just going to go straight into the announcements. If I can find what I did with them. There they are. Okay, so Robert Aho is our speaker today. He is going to be talking about stabilizing our spiritual practice. He will also be having Michael help out with us and sing a couple of songs, I am assuming. One song. All right, but we like it when you two get together. All right, and as per our normal weekly announcements, Monday night, the Unity group meets at 6 p.m. downstairs. They are finishing up with the Fifth Agreement, and they will be starting the book Mary Magdalene Revealed. And for those of you who were here a couple of weeks ago, we got a little taste of that from Kim, which is, so if those of you, if you haven't been to the book group for the Unity book group, and you want to get in touch with this Mary Magdalene Revealed, now's the time. So think about that on Monday night. On Tuesday, we have the Abraham group with Sue Hall and her friends, and that's at 1 p.m., also downstairs. And you're still working on the power of deliberate intent, okay? So that's by the Hickses, and that's also a good group if you have something that you want to learn about that. Now, February 28th is Pam's workshop. Pam spoke last Sunday, and so she's just kind of gotten me going on that. I really want to take that class so bad. So I'm going to be doing that. It's on a Saturday. Now, depending on the number of people that sign up, depends on where we're going to hold it. So if you do sign up, keep in mind that if it's not a bunch of people, we'll do it at her house. Otherwise, we'll do it downstairs. And it is about the wheel of predictability, and she combines numerology, astrology, and tarot together to put it all together so you can make more accurate predictions of what's going to happen. And the sign-up sheet is downstairs. And I did bring last week, I brought this songbook. It's just a sampler of a songbook that, they use at the church where I work. And they have a bunch of these and want to get rid of them. And I just thought, if you guys want to take a look at it, say yay or nay, let me know what you think, because I don't know what's in there. I haven't really looked it over myself. But if you want, and we can get these for free, so anything free is worth it. I don't know. Anyway, so let me take a look. I'll put it on the table downstairs. What's that?
I have a question about that. Carol being a pianist, has she,
Yeah, she looked over the.
are there a lot of them that you can play, or
I could play them all, just that they're inside Christian and they're so kind of hard to play. Now we need Michael to lead the people because the ways are written is different. My opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not
So.
really impressed, but you know what? You guys may really like it.
Yeah. So just take a look at it.
I
Yeah.
can play it, but
if they're easy to sing, I'm all for it.
Well, you can take a look at it at lunchtime. All right, so that's that. Does anyone else have any other announcements?
At our book group on Monday night, this is our new book we're going to be starting next week.
I did mention that.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
I'm getting old, folks.
All right, yeah. So she's got the book if you want to take a look at it. Yeah. Okay, so in that case, next week, our speaker is Vinod Gupta. He's been here a couple of times before, and so he is going to be talking about how to manifest, and that'll be a very interesting topic. He's a very interesting guy. So no one else has any other announcements? All right, so then let's read our principles, which you'll find on the white card.
Meditation group first.
Oh, the first Sunday, of course, yes. The first Sunday is the meditation group with Robert. And usually, you're going to do it downstairs?
We've been varying it. It's either up or down.
Up or down, okay.
If it's cold downstairs, it's the little fireplace.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
we did last time.
yeah,
That was nice.
yeah. Okay.
It's kinda-
Yeah, the first Sunday meditations class with Robert is on what day is that? March 1st, right, yeah. Sheesh. So keep in mind, I'm going to write that down right now. Okay, so our statement of principles. God is the eternal source and creator of all and is present in everything. Our eternal soul, endowed with free will, grows through many lifetimes. Communication occurs between the physical and spiritual worlds. Prayer and meditation strengthen our connection to the divine. All healing comes from Source. Seeking this for ourselves and compassion for others' suffering is the highest priority. Because we are all one, what we do unto others, we do unto ourselves. The choice of love is always open for every soul. Living these principles leads us to grow in divine love. So at this time, are there any healing requests? You have a couple.
Laura Whitney sent me a text to let us know there's someone named Sarah Paginen, who's a musician, and she has cancer in remission, and she needs prayers. Laura can use some more prayers for her, what does she have?
Torn hamstring.
Yeah, the hamstring thing. And so prayers for both ladies, and that's what thank you very
Laura
much.
and Sarah.
Laura and Sarah, yes. Oh, and I did put them in the bowl. She did mention that. So,
Request prayers for my daughter Emily. She's my youngest, and she is experiencing a difficult pregnancy right now. Her baby is breech and hasn't turned, and we're expecting our first grandchild here in about 2 weeks. But but she's having a hard time right now, and she could use all of your prayers. Thank you.
We'll keep our good friend Carolyn Sheets in our prayers. She's still recovering from her surgery, so let's have good healing thoughts for that.
I saw her last night at the Sacred Heart Music Center for
Oh,
Ball McGee. She looked really good. She was happy.
good.
She was vibrant.
Oh, good. Keep her in our prayers, though, to keep her going that way. Any other prayer requests? All right, so we do have our healing bowl. If you ever want to put a name in the bowl, it's prayed for 24/7. We always have that bowl available if you don't want to, announce it to the rest of the congregation. And at this time, can we have can you ring our singing bowl for us? We'll have a moment of silence, and then we'll sing in the silence. A secret meeting place, love is there. In the silence where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there. God is there. So at this time, we'll have Robert start his presentation. He's going to incorporate his meditation within his presentation today.
Let's just take a moment. Focus on breath. Just look inward, look at mind, and remain at ease. your mind wanders, just go back to breath. Focus on breath. All right. Michael, will you come up here and sing a song for us, please?
It is within that groundedness with our breath and our breathing that we go deep inside to our source, where it is safe. It is a strong foundation of self, which is akin to your soul. Okay, to be in that place, to be in that foundation. And it's from that place that we have an opportunity to gain a vision, a transcendence, a transition into awakening and awareness. And that's what this song is all about. I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the sun on laughter silvered wings. Skyward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 1,000 things. I've wheeled and soared and swung high in the silent silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting winds aloft and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long delirious burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with ease and grace, where never lark nor even eagle flew. And while in my silent lifting mind I trod the high and trespassed sanctity of space, reached out my hand and touched the face of God, uplifting, connecting, that wholeness.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. It's wonderful. So I'm looking at a very diverse group of spiritual practitioners here. We each have our own way of looking at things, our own spiritual practice. We each have different ways that we find meaning in this spiritual life that we're living. We go from one thing to another, and it doesn't always stay the same. In fact, we know from experience that everything changes. Everything. And this is a very difficult part. The greatest challenge that any spiritual practitioner has to face is the way things change, things fall apart. We hold on to something seems like so truthful today, and we practice that, and it falls apart. Then we grasp even tighter. We hold on to things tighter. And it starts to give us problems. Because it's just like any thought. If you grasp it too tightly, it gets bigger, it turns into a problem. Some people say that's how you create demons, by grasping things too tightly, by trying to cover things up, by trying to push things away. These are thoughts. And they're always changing, and we are bombarded with rapid-fire thoughts all the time. So what is a thought? That's just your mind in motion, and you'll never actually catch a thought. No matter what that thought is, you can't encapsulate it. It's like trying to capture a wave on the ocean. Now, if you were to stand on the ocean trying to capture waves, pretty soon somebody would call, local authorities and say there's a crazy person here trying to catch waves. And yet, we do that all the time. Nothing stays the same. We can't make something stay the same, no matter how tightly we grasp it. No matter how often we try to repeat to ourselves and say, yep, this is the truth and that's it. We can't hold on to that. There's no philosophy, no religion, no science even that stays the same. Everything is changing. Everything is subject to more and more and more information, more experience, more knowledge. Okay, so that creates a tremendous problem for the spiritual practitioner. So we have different types of students. We can call it all people who are spiritual practitioners. We can say we're all students. Now some are in a very locked position and they're very stubborn and they're not going to budge. Okay. I don't know if I can help somebody if they're doing that. I really don't, because we need to be able to evolve. We need to be able to be flexible and change and to discover what's more and more truthful. So we go down this path of discovering truth. We could say we're a seeker. Majority of spiritual practitioners are seekers. They're really just trying to find what is it all about? What's the meaning of life? Who am I? Why am I here? Where is their truth? Well, if that's where you remain, you're going to be forever seeking. Because no matter how profound our seeking might be, no matter how many different things we discover, we're never going to find absolute truth when we are seeking, jumping here, jumping there, never finding any kind of stability, never finding any kind of rhyme or reason to anything. It just will never end. Now, I define personally, I will call seekers spiritual practitioners, but I think that a spiritual practice actually begins when we aspire to awaken. When we aspire to awaken, now we've locked onto a spark. We've locked onto a spark of absolute truth. We've acknowledged that there's this truth. We've acknowledged that there is this absolute truth somewhere. Otherwise, why would we be seekers? Why would we seek anything? Why would we be philosophers? Why would we practice religion? Why would we practice meditation? If it wasn't for this acknowledgement that there is absolute truth, something. We all know that there is absolute truth. My first talk at this church, Carol invited me. I talked about my near-death experience, where I instantly became the light of Dharmakaya, instantly became Source, or God. Whatever name you use, that falls far short. You can't name it anything. Even calling it absolute truth that doesn't do it justice. Because to understand that, to have knowledge of that, you have to simply rest into that condition. Now, as a Buddhist, and I'm not so sure I'm really someone you could classify as a Buddhist any longer. I mean, I am, but I'm not limited to Buddhism. It's one of the wonderful things about this church is it is open to everything. And I acknowledge that I'm open to everything as well. So it's wonderful. There's a synchronicity here. That's why I keep coming back. It's wonderful. It's not for my own personal needs. It's because I see a community of spiritual practitioners who are open to the possibilities. They're not limited. You each have tapped into that infinite potentiality. That's why this place keeps thriving. It keeps happening. That's why it's so special. That's why I love this place. That's why I love all of you. It's just absolutely amazing because it doesn't reject anybody's spiritual point of view. It's immediately saying, well, okay, whatever your understanding is, that's what we're here about. Okay, so that by itself doesn't give us spiritual stability. In fact, stability in Buddhism isn't even talked about until you become a Dzogchen practitioner, and even then, there's a lot of debate about it. Some great masters will say there's no such thing as stability. Okay? One of my teachers told me that. Another one told me the opposite. So, and my root teacher, Namkhai Narbu, said we have to consider for ourselves. And that's the whole point of awakening, is you consider everything for yourself. It's basically all about being a seeker and then deciding that you need to awaken. And understanding that awakening is that state of awareness that's beyond all obstacles. So you're discovering absolute truth. Now, I would classify myself as a Rimé practitioner in Buddhism. Rimé means that it's non-sectarian. A lot of people don't understand that approach. How can you be non-sectarian? Because we have these different schools of thought. In Tibet, there's 4 major schools of Buddhism, and they do disagree about certain things, but they generally get along fairly well. And then there's also Buddhism that you find in other countries. You know, I also spent time with Soto Zen practitioners here in the Twin Ports. They used to be here in the church practicing. And I don't remember, it was like Saturday morning or something. And then they had talks here and retreats here and all that type of thing too. And hope they come back someday. They're wonderful. But the whole point here is that I'm not coming from a sectarian point of view. So I'm the type of spiritual student who needs the diversity of thought. I need to see things from different points of view. Because I can't rely upon any point of view unless it provides me with perspective. What does it look like here? What does it look like there? What does it look like over here? Okay? So this is a confusing way to be. Okay, what do we do when we're approaching things with a diverse approach the way I am? Or, you know, possibly all of us are doing that. I don't know specifically, but we have this openness. And so it bombards our relative mind, our relative point of view. Relative reality is, how do you see the world? How does another person see the world? How are you? How are you? How are you? Everybody's seeing the world a little bit differently. That's relative reality. So we can each say we know it. We know what the truth is. We can be very stubborn about it, and we can argue about it, and we can create philosophies and religions and schools of thought. okay? We can be stubborn about it. But then we also have this feeling in the back of our mind like we're fooling ourselves because we know there's something else there. Every time we have died, we have experienced absolute reality. In life, when you have had traumas, there's this this moment when you may have experienced a flash of light. It just comes and goes. In dreams, we experience that flash of light. It comes, it goes, boom. Okay? What is that? What is that indescribableness? Now, this is a Dzogchen pointing out that I'm giving you. Now, if you have a teacher who's told you don't go to Dzogchen yet, well, you should cover your ears because I'm going to tell you something important here. This absolute reality occurs naturally, and we resist it because we're actively engaged in relative mind. We're actively engaged in thoughts. Our thoughts, these waves, we're trying to grasp them. We're a crazy person trying to grab waves, trying to hold them in place, trying to see what that is. And it just keeps going and we can't see it and it's gone. And even you take a picture and then you're like, well, that's not how it looked. You know, there's things like that. That didn't look quite right. You know, so we have this ongoing dilemma in our spiritual practice. We have no stability. We can't find stability anywhere. Think about this. We think this world is real. It seems real, you know. Seems solid. I'm knocking on something. I'm not sure what. So it seems real. It's composed of molecules and atoms. We have electrons, protons, neutrons, all this stuff. And each one of those atoms is kind of doing this, it's vibrating. And there's billions and billions of them in each of us. Trillions atoms. Everywhere in the universe, every atom is doing the same thing. And on top of that, it comes and it goes. It doesn't even stay in our universe. It goes through the multiverse. Quantum physics is starting to come up with some incredibly profound things that are really on the edge of spiritual practice. Some of these things, like the atoms, have been talked about in Buddhism for 2,600 years, and I believe the Vedics also talked about atoms. One of the early texts in Buddhism, the Vimalakirti Sutra, was about traveling through the multiverse. Well, we haven't even, in the West, haven't even started talking about the multiverse until recently. But you look at that, okay, there's our universe, everything's changing in every fraction of a moment. And you've got the multiverse, everything is changing in every fraction of a moment. So we have an infinite array of universes, and everything's changing. And even in places, and I would say the energetic dimension, this is how I experienced it when I had my death experience. The energetic dimension is far greater than all the multiverses and universes combined. That just occupies a small area. This energetic turbulence, it's just violently swirling, flowing, expanding, contracting. Very obviously nothing's staying the same for more than one moment, and not even then. Okay, but we are not aware of ordinary humans are not aware of the energetic dimension. Some of us have psychic abilities and we start picking up auras and we can start sensing things psychically, that type of thing. By expanding our mind, we start becoming more sensitive to these multi-dimensional enigmas. You can't even call it anything. They're just enigmas. Okay, so we start to develop a sensitivity. Well, I mean, that's wonderful. The more advanced spiritual practitioners do develop psychic abilities. That's a very commonly understood thing among great masters. I've talked about that. We see it with our own eyes. We have lots and lots of instances of that, not confined to any religion. You know, we have great shamans who have this ability. They can see things that are happening on the other side of the world. They have a sense of things. They can see the energy flowing, expanding, contracting, all of this. They have that ability through being very open, being very honest, being genuine, by being open to the possibilities, the infinite possibilities of our spiritual life. So we develop certain qualities and characteristics that bring us to this ultimate truth. Doesn't matter what you call it, because no labels whatsoever do it justice. Now think about that. That's what we, as spiritual practitioners, are messing around with. We're dealing with everything and beyond what we think is possible, beyond what the human mind can actually articulate. That's what we're coming into contact with. That's what we have unleashed as spiritual practitioners. And the deeper you go as a spiritual practitioner, the more instability you discover. The more genuine you become, the more things seem to be falling apart all the time. Jerry and I are laughing because we know that. We've seen it. This falling apart is actually a sign that we are advancing as spiritual practitioners, because we're coming into that knowledge. I wrote about that in my big thick book, The Frog, about facing millions of demons, how things fell apart, how I had to face certain things, how I made a prayer to Padmasambhava. I said, I don't care what it takes. I want to be enlightened, and I'll pay any price. Whatever happens, I accept it. And the next morning, I was in the emergency room with a heart problem, and I was okay with that. And I accepted it as a blessing, because I realized that this had to happen in order for me to advance, in order for me to awaken. So you have to develop the courage of facing everything. But know this, we each have infinite power within us. We have nothing to worry about. One of the first things I talked about when I came back from the death bardo was, we've got nothing to worry about. It's fine. It's fine. Because I tapped into what we really are, who we really are, what we've fallen away from. I'm not sure why we're here. I'm not sure why we are living in confusion. I don't understand that. And the thing that really creates a little bit of an enigma with me is, why do people resist spiritual practice? Why are people resisting this notion of awakening? I don't understand. Because if we resist the notion of awakening, that ensures we will come back here. And then we come back here and we whine about how life isn't fair and all these things are going wrong. We're winding up in the emergency room after praying and things like that. I did not whine about that, by the way. I did accept that as a blessing. But I had already prepared myself to understand that that would be a blessing. Okay, so all this confusion, all this energy, all these possibilities. This idea that we advance, but then it doesn't seem like we're being, we're not being rewarded for that. Why? Well, it's because of our own actions. We have to face the demons that we've created. We have to face these actions in life. So karma, some people say, well, I don't believe in karma. Karma is nothing other than actions. So if you don't believe in actions, then I don't know what to say, because we all create actions. We create intention, we engage in things, and then we sit back and watch it happen. So some of it's good, some of it's bad. No matter what we do, it sends ripples everywhere. So far I haven't talked about stability yet, have I? What I'm talking about is this is our ground as spiritual practitioners in this unstable world where we become easily agitated and embroiled. That's our challenge, looking at this extremely diverse mess that we call life. This mess that is our own mind getting agitated about this and then agitated about that. Okay, so with our meditation today, I wanted to do just one pointed meditation. You focus on breath. That's not stability. That's creating causes for you to discover stability. The stability occurs when you aspire to awaken. Because that's that spark. That was one of my topics on one of the Sundays, was the spark of enlightenment, the spark of awakening, right? So we have this little spark. It's right here in your heart center. It's bright, brighter than these candles. It's so bright, an arc welder or the sun doesn't even compare, but it's just a little spark. So we start on our first step, it's keep it manageable. We're not looking for answers yet when we step onto the path. We simply aspire to awaken. We create and nurture this most important thing that we can ever possess, which is our own enlightenment mind. So you can start by simply visualizing that, but when you visualize that spark, just a tiny spark in your heart center, you feel that. You feel that that's your guru, that's your real nature, that's ultimate reality. That's spark. You can call it God, you can call it Source, you can call it Dharmakaya or Samantabhadra. Doesn't matter. None of that comes close. It's beyond relative reality, beyond calling names or images. You have this little tiny spark, but it's the same as full enlightenment. It's the same as becoming this, what I called timeless luminosity. In my first book, I called it timeless luminosity. It's so bright that we can't imagine it. We have nothing to compare it with. I said upon my return that it was brighter than 1 trillion stars orbiting Earth. And much brighter than that. So we step onto this path with this enlightenment mind, this aspiration to awaken. We make that aspiration to awaken, and we've discovered something that we can rely on that is unchanging. Ultimate reality doesn't change in every moment the way the universe does, the way all the atoms do. Ultimate reality is so bright that it can't be fathomed by the conceptual mind of a human. We can only experience it directly. So to do that, we meditate. Every time we meditate, our capacity increases a little bit. That spark starts to grow. Maybe at some point, maybe you're already ready with your capacity. Maybe it's a large sphere. Maybe it's that large. Maybe. And maybe it's not just a tiny spark. But you as a spiritual practitioner need to be able to maintain that. So you practice meditation every chance you get, certainly every day. You learn to practice meditation in your dreams. Your spiritual practice has devotion to your guru, your ultimate guru. I'm not going to name who that is for you. It's different for everybody. Even if we all shared the same name for the same guru, it would be different because we'd all have a different idea about it. Our relative reality ensures that we can't actually have the same concepts or the same beliefs, no matter how hard we try. Our relative mind can never actually discover source. Our relative mind must go into this ultimate reality, the nature of mind, directly. That's up to each of us individually. We can help each other, we can encourage each other, that's what we're doing here today, but we cannot actually receive an answer from somebody that is the answer. We have to discover that for ourselves. Now, it sounds like meditation is a lot of work, but really it's just sitting there most of the time. Most of the time you're just sitting there. It's really just becoming accustomed to your own thoughts. You look at mind. You start to discover the nature of mind. So how I've been teaching with our monthly meditation is I've called it teaching with the door open. And that just sounds kind of weird, but when we have a realization, it's like a door opens. We actually have, as spiritual practitioners, there are actually several awakenings that we can experience. The last one is full enlightenment. And full enlightenment is quite rare. We're not affected by fire. It's not something that we can handle. We're not affected by any of the elements. That's full enlightenment. It's within each of you to achieve that. You can all achieve it that fast. Or it may take 1,000,000 lifetimes. But I would say, as someone who discovered that time does not exist, it is irrelevant. What's important is that you aspire to awaken. And then you be kind to yourself. Your practice requires you to be kind to yourself. Don't be hard on yourself because you haven't awakened yet, because you haven't discovered for yourself yet. It's not so easy because we're all habituated by our relative mind, our thoughts, our conceptual thoughts, our beliefs. See, awakening is going beyond belief. It's not being constrained by anything that humans have created. Now, this is why it's so important to meditate. That's why it's so important to aspire to awaken. That's where the stability comes in. Whatever else you do doesn't really matter. Whatever you need, do that. But always hold that spark of enlightenment mind as most precious. Get to know that spark of enlightenment mind. Increase your capacity so it grows and grows. This grows by developing love and compassion throughout your life. It grows by creating light instead of dark, creating acceptance, just like how this church is, very accepting. We don't have to say it's this or that. It's not over there or over there, it's in here. Everything you need is in your heart center. And once you acknowledge that you have this spark of awakening, this spark of enlightenment mind, your spiritual practice starts to blossom. And you can always pull yourself back to that spark of enlightenment mind. It's just like pulling yourself back to with breath. You start to practice by going back to your aspiration to awaken, and knowing that's the only thing you can take with you from one lifetime to another is your own enlightenment mind, your own aspiration to awaken. Possessions, fame, fortune, can't take any of that with. No matter what happens, you're going to be forgotten, and so will I. That's the way this world is. But your own spiritual practice, you can take that with you. So I wrote about that. The frog is about 2,600 years of spiritual practice. And the more I've meditated on it, the more I realize there's more dimensions to it. That I've encountered people that I've encountered before more than I realize. It's because of these karmic connections. But I always come back to that enlightenment mind. Okay, I see I've gone a little beyond, but I want to leave you with this. Of course, this is the Ah symbol in Tibetan. Not all of you have seen it, but most of you have. That is a symbol representing the nature of mind. You can look at that. You can put one in your home. Maybe you have an altar. Put that on your altar. That is representative of ultimate reality. It's not actually ultimate reality, but that is representative of that. And that's, you can use that, or you can simply visualize this spark of enlightenment in your heart center. Okay, so let's do, we'll do 3 ahs. And when we do the Guru Yoga practice, you envision your guru. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter. I could visualize Namkhai Norbu, my master of Dzogchen. We can visualize Yeshua, Mary Magdalene. We can envision maybe there's just somebody down the street that you know that's just you're in awe of their spiritual practice, and they've been teaching you things. That's good too. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. Each individual spiritual practice is open to your own interpretation of who your guru is. Ultimately, you see this in your guru. You see this ultimate reality. That's who you see. And so when we practice Guru Yoga, we're opening our heart and mind to our guru. We're combining and multiplying our spark of enlightenment mind to become one. It's about this oneness. That's what brings us back. That's what stabilizes our spiritual practice. This oneness, knowing this oneness. You know it by experience. You start with this practice and you feel it. You know it in your heart and mind. Even if you can't describe why you know it. It's a knowing that goes beyond concept. So we can look at our mind, see our thoughts, see our ideas, see the instability of all of that, and realize there's an ultimate truth beyond any human understanding, really. That's where our spiritual practice leads us, is beyond being human. It's beyond, it's total awareness. That's what we're combining with our guru. Okay, so let's go ahead and start by visualizing your guru. Number of different ways that you can do this. You can start simply with visualizing your enlightenment mind, or not even calling it anything, just simply being in that knowledge non-conceptually. Okay. Now we sound ah, and you do that with, as you hold that and sustain that sound, you push up with your diaphragm to release that air in a consistent manner. All right. Okay, so when you do this, open your eyes as wide as you can open them. Open your mouth as wide as it will go, because we're opening our heart and mind, and so our body becomes assistant in that. All right, you just kind of look up, kind of, be the best way. One more time. Okay, I'll just sing a little dedication prayer. Om Dare Dare Vendare Svaha Jaya Jaya Siddhi Siddhi Pala Pala Ahasha Sama Mama Kolin Samenta. Okay, we finish. My master always used to say that when he got done talking. Thank you very much.
All right, so can we get a couple of people to bring forward the baskets for our offering? Thank you, Robert.
Okay, now, we are all together, really, in a oneness of the Spirit that each of us is, but we bring it together in a oneness with everybody that is here. Feel in your heart, your mind, and your spirit, the oneness of spirit that we all are together. light, compassion, love, peace, and joy. Hooray, hooray, hooray!
All right, thank you, Jerry. All right, so at this time, let's grab our little white card and talk about our church affirmation. All right, we totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and direction of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. As our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership and people to our spiritual community, and we are grateful. As we circle up, I will have, what's that? Hymn. Oh, we have a hymn. Okay, sorry about that. 2-1-1, called Oneness. Yep. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I now let go. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I realize there's only one power. 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 I realize I'm one with the one. 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 All right, so as we gather in our circle, Robert will give us a benediction or a closing hymn.
As we gather here, let us bring with the intention of bringing great benefit to all, which I know we will all do. May we all aspire to awaken, and may we all awaken. Blessings to all.
Amen. All right.
God be with you till we meet again. By his counsel try to uphold you. On his blessing securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. With his chasing protecting hide you. Daily manna shall provide you. God be with you till we meet again. Woohoo! Thank you. Did I do okay? Did I do okay?
Yeah.